Welcome to the JECERIS Invitational podcast with Hayleigh Heather, who is appearing on the under 57 prelims on Saturday, the 6th of December, over in the Isle of Man at the Roundhouse in Braddon. Hayleigh, it's fantastic to chat with you. How are you feeling about your match on Saturday?
I'm excited, nervous, all of the feelings. It's always a bit of a roller coaster every single time we get a match. And this one, the JECERIS team pulled out the bag so quickly. So it's been a really quick turnaround going from no match to a match in 2 weeks. So yeah, everything's condensed, extra feeling.
I love it. They really have worked incredibly hard to put on a fantastic show, and it's not even happened yet. This is high level event organization, and the event will be equaled with the high level performance of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Talk to us about your upcoming match, because you've not been matched with Natalie before. Is it a gi or no gi match?
It's a no-gi match, and it's really exciting to get somebody that you've never actually competed against before. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu scene for quite some time now, but you're also not shy of competitions in various other martial arts.
Yeah, well, I originally started off as competing in MMA more than it was jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu was a bit of a more of a side quest, I guess, at the start. And now it seems to have flipped around where I'm getting a lot more opportunities to compete in jiu-jitsu. So that's become more and more what I've been doing, I guess. It's been good fun, especially no-gi. Yeah, much prefer that personally.
And is that because of your MMA background more
Yeah.
so?
Yeah, for sure. I think by the time I'd got a blue belt, I'd only worn a gi a couple of times, and that's changed since. But yeah, to start off with the first couple of years, it was predominantly no gi training only. So.
Yeah. Nice. And what is your style for anyone that hasn't seen your MMA or jiu-jitsu?
I would say my jiu-jitsu can be a little bit chaotic. It's quite fast-paced. It does seem quite MMA style. I do love a bit of top pressure. But my most recent win I actually got with a toe hold, which I think is quite unexpected for someone as an MMA fighter. So I think, yeah, it's evolving and it's evolving quickly. So lots of new things to see, hopefully.
I like the fact that you've not stayed in one genre of martial arts, and there really does feel like an incredible progression. But the agility to move around and be really dynamic in your matches as well.
Yeah, that's the goal. I think whenever you want to compete, you want to try and put on an exciting performance, right? And it's why I love the sub-only formats, because it doesn't matter as much if you lose position for a second. You could give away a point, but it's quite easy to come back with sub attempts from all over the place. So that's the part of it that I enjoy the most.
Nice. And are you known for a specific sub at all, aside from the win on with a toe hold?
No, I don't think I am. I've had quite a few different wins. I've had triangles, I've had arm bars, I've had rear naked chokes. I don't think that I'm not really the sort of person who has that much of a game plan of one specific thing.
Yeah.
I have things that I'm working on, and I'll like have a consistent block where I work on a thing. But when it comes to the match itself, I tend to be quite opportunistic. And I think that comes from being the smaller person in the gym. You can't always dictate where you're going to be in a role when you're practicing. So you get better at spotting what's there for you from the position that you're stuck in. So I think that's generally how I work.
I like that. Well, this is the JECERIS Invitational podcast for the JECERIS Invitational event on Saturday, the 6th of December, hosted at the Roundhouse in Braddon in the Isle of Man. This inaugural event will be fantastic, and the event is sponsored by Zebra, Hartford Homes, Grow Lab Organics, the Crown Group, Kano Fightwear, the Empress Hotel, Alt Lodge, ELS Group, Isle of Man. Also, go and get your pay-per-view link if you're not able to visit the Isle of Man this weekend. Hayleigh, you are in the under 57 kind of division. You talked about being a smaller athlete, but seeing those opportunities and kind of growing your experience to see those opportunities to progress your match and find those subs. How has your kind of journey been? And was that something you had from the beginning, being able to see the opportunities in the sport of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
I think when I first started, no, I didn't really know much about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at all. So I actually started off boxing. I think that was the first thing that I took seriously. And then I went to an MMA gym and they gave me like a free trial for a week. And I'd done karate as a kid and I didn't like it. And in my head, I painted this picture of Jiu-Jitsu being like in a gi and being very performative and sort of going through the motions of moves. And I think that's because I'd done like a kata-based background where it was you would learn the forms and you'd do the forms. And so I went to this MMA gym and I had a go at jiu-jitsu, and I remember my first lesson there and I was taught how to do a foot sweep and how to do an arm bar off it. And I was like, this is class. And then I went to a couple more and I started realizing that actually I was watching the other people there and it wasn't always the biggest person that won. It was like the person that was the most skillful won. And to an extreme level. And I think that's what got me hooked for jiu-jitsu. And I think that's where I got more and more into it from, really.
I think you're right in saying it's being able to see the potential of what you're able to do as an individual in the sport as well, and knowing your worth, knowing your value, and just having that really positive outlook that actually this is a really exciting thing to kind of progress with. Talk to me about your MMA wins and background, and kind of progress onto your jiu-jitsu invitationals to date.
Oh, so the MMA has been a really long journey. I had my first ever pro fight. Not pro fight, sorry, absolute lies. My first ever fight ever, my AMI fight, was on an event called the IMAFs. So it was actually an international fight because I was struggling to get the opponents back in, this was 2019.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a big jump for me doing that. And then I have had quite a few fights where I've had to fight up weight categories just to get the experience. I've fought some amazing women and I've met some amazing people doing it. There's SBG Cork in Ireland. I met a fighter called Kerry. That was at a competition. She's now a great friend of mine. I think it's just been a huge journey for me, meeting all these people and these like-minded people, training with them, competing against them. So that's been the MMA side of it. It's been ups and downs. I fought on the Four Nations thing. I fought a competitor and a friend called Chloe Gowan. I fought her a couple of times and I've lost to her both times, and she's just about to turn pro. So I'm so proud of her for doing that. But there's been some amazing fights, and then the ones where I have had the losses, I've gone on to watch the women do amazing things. Miriam Grubb, she's now on Brave. So in that one, we went to a decision. She won that one, but you're watching the caliber of women that we fought in the UK, and it's just going up and up. It's really nice to see that. Yeah, especially from starting at a point where I was the only woman in the gym training MMA, and now you're seeing the sport grow so much. It's just incredible to see that journey.
Amazing. Now, before we started recording, and you kind of echoed on it there, about kind of coming through the ranks with the same kind of group of women, and kind of seeing them on invitationals, on matches, and they're the same women, and you're having the experience of competing against them time and time again. But Natalie, you haven't seen before.
No. Yeah, I know.
How are you feeling about meeting another new exciting woman on the under 57?
Do you know what? I really like it. I prefer it to having the same matches on loop. I think everyone would. It's, you get to see what's actually going to work against somebody that's completely new style normally. Because every gym's got their little styles, haven't they? That's what I find from like moving around. Every gym has almost like special moves. You know, stuff that they're really good at and they excel in, and then they hand that down to their people. And so I think, I don't know if I'm right in this, but I think that Natalie's style is probably a little bit more traditional jiu-jitsu, a little bit more sports jiu-jitsu based. So it'll be interesting to see how, I guess, a sub-only MMA style plays off against that kind of style.
Yes. Now, are you going in, because I've spoken with a number of athletes on different invitationals and events, that they have their gameplay, their game plan, they have their A game, and that's their game, and actually they follow through. Is that also your strategy?
That has never been my strategy. I have things that I know I'm good at. And I love to make up a plan as I'm training towards a match, and I have never ever had that plan go to plan. I think there's positions where I know I have a strong chance of ending up, because I always end up there, and it's sort of become a running joke in my gym at the minute. But no, I don't feel like I work the best off having a solid plan. I think people can become really fixated and focused on one specific sub or one specific position that they want to be in. And actually, I think it can be a lot more effective to play your game off what your opponent's doing.
I like the idea of that. Whilst we can all kind of plan and prepare, we also have experience that plans don't go to plan. What can we see from you on the JECERIS Invitational specifically? Whilst there's no plan, what are we looking for? What is the kind of, you know, the Hayleigh style?
Well, the classic MMA style is, I love to do a bit of wrestling and I love to do the stand up at the start. So depending on the opponent I get, we will see if that happens or not. If I suppose I get a guard pull against me, then you'll see a lot of top pressure. You'll see quite an aggressive style on top. I really think, like, I can't express enough how I just don't go in there with a plan. I just look for what the opponent is doing, and then I play off that. So chaotic is probably the best term. It will be, I'll go in and I'll be looking for a thing, and then you'll see me very quickly just change my mind and go for something completely different.
Has that, I'm really intrigued now, has that always been a style for you, to be able to work on the fly and change the plan and adapt to changing situations quickly?
I think it's a personality trait. I think I'm very much a wing it person, and that's not in a, I don't want to say this in like a cocky way or anything like that, but I think I'm not overly stressed about a lot of things. I'm a lot more flexible. I quite like the freedom. There was a while where, when I moved down to South Wales first, I lived in a camper van for a couple of years, so I could have that freedom to just sort of train. And I think that is, I don't know whether it's like a personality trait or a personality flaw, but it's part of who I am, and I think that comes out in your game. So I think knowing who you are and knowing how you like to do things in life, like I wouldn't have an itinerary for a holiday, so I don't know why I would have a plan for a match.
I love it. Okay, talking about holidays, I have you been to the Isle of Man before?
I've never been, no. It's somewhere I've always like wanted to go. It's been on the bucket list, but yeah, it never got there. So I'm really excited to go and have a look around. We've got a bit of free time on the Sunday.
Fantastic.
So yeah.
that I'm sure there will be lots of people able to show you around the island. It is an incredible place to visit. There's
If you
lots
have
to see.
recommendations, give them away, because this is what I tend to do. I just ask for recommendations and then we'll go with that.
Well, the team over in JECERIS Invitational are the people to ask. I don't recall the names of all the incredible hills and walks and places to go, but I just know that when I visited, I just had the most incredible time. Actually, I will just note, you do need to go to the Manx Museum, because when I visited at Easter, and it may not be there, I should have taken a sticker. I did leave a Jiu-Jitsu Lou podcast patch in the TT Races Museum part of the Manx Museum. So if anyone's visiting and happens to pass by the Manx Museum and find out more about the Isle of Man, just see whether it's there, please.
Yeah, go on a little treasure hunt for
it. All of the things. It's just, it's so welcoming and so supportive. I'm really excited for all of you athletes visiting and being hosted by the JECERIS Invitational team, because I know they are incredible, equally as incredible as you athletes.
I've had a brilliant time working with them so far. Like the messaging back and forth, they're so helpful and easy to work with. They've been great. Fantastic. So I just imagine there's going to be more when we arrive.
Now, I can hear a little pup scraping around. Talk to me. Do you have a pet?
I do. I have Luna. She's a little staffy. She's lovely. She's a little brick whirlwind, I think is probably the best way to describe her.
Do you think she might echo your personality and behaviour?
I think so. She doesn't have a plan ever either. So yeah. She likes to lead with her head. I like to do that too.
Love it.
I think that's yeah.
Similar. Pets featuring on podcasts is always a highlight for anyone listening or watching. So Luna won't be traveling with you. And talk to us about the logistics of going to matches that aren't on the mainland, or maybe traveling.
Yeah. So I had to work out and get a babysitter, I guess, for my dog. So when Hayleigh first messaged me, I was like, oh, hang on, because I need to just check I can get somebody to come and look after Luna for the weekend. Yeah. So luckily we've sorted that, and she's gonna be absolutely coached to death while we're away. And then we were trying to work out where to fly from. So I'm based in Cardiff. So there's quite a trek to get down to Gatwick. Yeah. And we're trying to work out the flights for that, when we could get there, getting back. JECERIS team have been incredible, and they've supported all that for us. And they've organised the hotel as well, which is lovely. So I just feel incredibly looked after by that team. It's been great. They've made it as easy as possible.
Yeah. I think that's ultimately how anyone wants to feel when they're taking part in something. The kind of barriers to entry, it sounds like they've all been taken away, and this is going to be such a streamlined event, but streamlined process to allow you to be the best you can in terms of your your gameplay on the day.
Yeah. Honestly, like the absolute minimum is what we've had to think about and do is just sort out parking. So yeah, doggy babysitter and parking, and that was my level of involvement. Great, so helpful.
Amazing. So when you were living in your camper van and traveling around, you had the opportunity to train at lots of different gyms, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Where do you train now, or are you still a kind of a gym nomad and train wherever and whenever you can?
No, I'm much less of a gym nomad now. I am based in Cardiff predominantly, and there's so many great gyms around. But my gym and where I feel at home is my academy, and there's a great group of women there. We've got a couple of another purple belt, Lauren Price. There's some young girls that are fantastic. It's scary how good the young girls are these days. They've already been training for like 10 years, and they're 19, and honestly, the skill level is immense. So I'm excited to see what they do in the future as well. And it's just really nice having that group of people that you go to, and
Yeah. I think it's
bounce
really
off each
valuable
other and have
being
those
able
consistent
to.
training partners.
I think you are absolutely right. And I think it's really important to be able to train with kind of like-minded, similar, not necessarily similar personalities, because it's always good to practice your own skills and ability against someone that might not know your style. But having other women in under 57 kg to fight or be matched with, shall we say, or even train with, is an absolute pleasure for any of us to be kind of matched up with the same weight and style.
I'm convinced that women move slightly differently. So if you're not training with women, but you're competing against women, I think it's a big flaw in the game plan there. The flexibility and the ability to regard is just different. And their feet, they just get back. So you do everything to pass the guard, and then all of a sudden there'll be a foot again. And it's not the same experience, even with smaller men. You just don't get that range normally. There are always exceptions, but normally.
I like that. Now you are third on the prelim card. How are you feeling about your match actually on the Saturday?
I'm just really grateful to be there, to be honest. So I'm excited. There's some incredible competitors on that card. It's such a good lineup. So to get offered a spot on a card with athletes of that caliber, how can you say no? That's how I feel about it. And then, anybody who's prepared to go out there and perform in front of people on a live stream, like, they deserve respect. And I'm just excited to go against somebody like completely new, that's got that level of confidence in themselves. It's great.
Incredible. I am excited. I'm so sad that I can't be there, but I will be. I have already registered for the pay-per-view link. And if you haven't already, head over to JECERISinvitational.com/fight-card. Hayleigh, it's been incredible chatting with you. I wish you all the luck for Saturday and just enjoy the whole experience. It sounds like without the plan, you are going in with the greatest mindset and the greatest experience, and you're just going to have a great time.
Thank you. No plan, but lots of hard training and hard work to lead up to it.
Love it. And we didn't even get to talk about the training. I'm really pleased to get to know you a bit more, and we will talk again about your training schedule and all of those other amazing things. But we're going to leave the listeners and people watching this on a cliffhanger. They can follow your stories and find out.
Thank you for having me on. It's been great. Thanks, Lou.
You are very welcome. Right. Thank you very much for listening to the JECERIS Invitational podcast with me, Lou Temlett, coming to you from the UK. Go and sign up for that pay-per-view link over on JECERISinvitational.com/fight-card. And as always, check out the clips on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and follow all of the sponsors and JECERIS_Invitational on Instagram. Catch you on the next episode of the JECERIS Invitational podcast.